Hello, and welcome to Bookish Sisters Podcast. I'm Allie.
And I'm Jamie, and we are two sisters who love talking about books.
Today we'll be talking about Leia Stone's newest book, Traitor Wolf.
We recently read and really enjoyed this one.
I really enjoyed all of her books.
Mm-hmm. She's quickly becoming an auto-buy author for me. Everything I've read of hers, I've loved.
So this is like a YA fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like romantasy.
Yeah, definitely romantasy.
See, I figured like they're the same because it's like a fantasy with romance.
Yep.
So,
if you haven't had the chance to read Traitor Wolf yet, now's the time to go and read it and come back to this episode. Major spoilers ahead.
Major spoilers ahead. So if you haven't read it yet and you don't want to be spoiled, then you got to move on.
Yep. Check out a different episode of ours.
So the synopsis for this one is, the weapon that hasn't chosen anyone in 1,000 years has chosen me, a Dregborn girl with no magic. Forged by the creator and feared across the realm, the king killer was never meant for someone like me. But the moment I touch it, the wolves come running, snarling, fighting, and bleeding to claim me. Only one survives. A wolf with a traitor's mark burned into his skin. And now we're bonded. Last night, I was digging through the trash in the elite district when a dying highborn collapsed at my feet. With his final breath, he pressed his trial mark into my chest and gave me his place in the deadly competition I was never meant to enter. If I win my entire bloodline, all 40 of us gets magic. The dregs will rise overnight and the elites will never forget it. My bonded wolf says he doesn't care about me, that he only wants my blade. But he guards me like I matter, trains me like I have a chance, and when they try to kill me, he tears them down like I belong to him. I didn't ask for this, but I'm not backing down. Not even for the wolf who could break my heart.
This one had me smiling so much.
I know. I loved it so much.
Like, I binge read it, like, one day.
I know. I feel like I read it in, like, 2 sittings. Because I was like, oh my gosh, the whole time.
Yep. Like, I need to know what happens next. Every time I did set it down, I had to pick it up. It was on my mind.
Mm-hmm. I know it was one that was constantly playing, and I was, like, wanting to get back to it anytime I had to put it away.
Like, what's going to happen next?
Only to leave me hanging at the end.
Cliffhangers. Why is that a thing? Like, I get it. I do. But still. Cliffhangers.
Especially when you have to wait a while.
Yes.
Like, sometimes you're waiting a long time.
Especially when you arc read.
Right. Because you don't always get on the team to read and review the second book.
Yeah, and you have to wait longer than the people that buy it, like, after it comes out.
Mm-hmm. I know, it's so true. So did you find it odd that Bryn, our female main character, trusted her wolf protector so easily, even though he had the traitor mark?
I did think it was a bit odd how quickly she trusted him.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, she didn't even seem to know what a traitor mark was until the elite Cassian had told her.
She was really just thrown into this world. She didn't know anything about any of this.
Yeah, and, like, why does she trust Cassian's word and, like, explanation of what the traitor mark was when he was, like, the elite? Anytime he was with the other high bloods, he would talk down about her and, like, everyone from her community.
Right.
So why would she trust that instead of the wolf, like, more?
I know, I found that odd too. Like, she didn't resist very long at all before she trusted him. And I'm not sure why she didn't just ask, like, what his side of the story was.
I know, like, that would make a big difference, I would think. Hearing both sides of the story, not just Cassian's.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after, like, why would she trust?
Because she had just met him, too.
Yeah, why would she trust either one of them?
Maybe she felt she didn't have any other choice.
And I guess, like, her wolf protector did break her arm in the bonding.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that automatically adds the distrust, but, like, still.
But knowing the little she did, she knew that was, like, something like that was going to happen. That she was going to get hurt in that process.
But not to that extent.
Yeah.
She didn't know.
But I just feel like she should have just asked his side of the story, get it right from him, instead of just, like, hearing things and trusting based on that. Or distrusting based on that even. Like,
yeah. Like, personally, I wouldn't trust that easily.
No.
Like, definitely not. And, like, I don't think I would trust Cassian any more than, what's his name? The wolf.
Mm-hmm. Calaric.
There we go.
I know. I feel like I wouldn't trust anyone that I just met with my life at all, especially if they had the traitor's mark. Just knowing that she didn't have to know much to know that was like not a positive thing.
Right.
Like it kind of is self-explanatory. He has a mark because he was a traitor. Like,
but no, also knowing that he was marked by elites that she also doesn't trust, and how they already like are pushing a narrative about like her community.
Mm-hmm.
Can she really trust that any more than anything else?
I would think so.
So like, you would still.
But and I feel like even if she would have asked his side of the story, would she have trusted that? I wouldn't have. I guess I wouldn't have trusted anything anyone told me.
Which is crazy, especially seeing how, like, for the bond and for her protection, she had to trust them.
Mm-hmm.
At least Calaric.
Right, because he was her protector. Mm-hmm. And they had like a similar goal. They both needed to win. Mm-hmm. The stakes were so high for both of them.
Yes. Even though we didn't find out what his motivation was
until the end. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that later.
So would you go and take the opportunity to go to the trials for knowing your family, like Bryn had 13 siblings and a mother that were left behind and fend for themselves? Like, would you go?
I don't know if I would go. Like, I know Bryn, which was our main female character, like she was worried about this. She was trying to make sure that, even from a distance, that her family had food because they needed it so badly.
Right. Like, I would want to make sure that my family was taken care of. And, like, but if I had the chance to gain magic for my family, like, all 40 of them, and, like, better their lives if I won, I think I would have to take that chance. Mm-hmm. Especially if I could make sure that they were protected while I was gone.
Yes, and her mom was ill. She got word of that shortly after she had left to go, like, train and stuff for this competition. And, like, she made sure, like, she was always worried about it. She wanted to make sure that the shifts were covered so that someone was getting the money to help provide for her family. And I imagine, like, I would feel similarly. Like, if I had the responsibility of helping make sure, like, my family was taken care of and knowing my mom was sick was something that, you know, is typically not going to end well.
Right.
I would want to make sure that all of that is taken care of. So I didn't have that on my mind, so I was able to focus on the competition.
And it was cool when her mom did get sick. How was it Calaric that sent someone to help and take care of the jobs and the kids?
Yes.
Like, I think that helped build the trust.
I think so too, and I wasn't really expecting that. And this kind of made me suspicious. Like, am I supposed to think he's on my side or on her side? Because, you know, I am the main character when I'm reading this. But like, is he, you know, trustworthy? Is he doing this for an ulterior motive? Like,
and on another note, when after their first feast, how she wanted to take leftovers to her family, it was cool how Cassian bought, like, a wagon full of food.
Right, and then it wasn't enough. He didn't realize there were that many of them in the community.
But he didn't realize that she would want to share with the entire community and not just her big family.
Right, so he went back and, like, bought out the bakery and brought it all back for them.
And I have to imagine that helped her trust him a little bit more. Where she didn't want Calaric to know even where her family lived.
Right.
It was just, like, an interesting
dynamic. Element. Yeah, it was.
So, the author painted a world where the dregs were treated completely differently compared to the elites. Can you think of situations in our world where we can see similar comparisons?
I think that, like, this is something that you definitely see in the real world. Like, rich versus poor. Like, you are, for sure, treated differently or viewed differently based on the car you drive, the clothes you wear, the job you have, like, all the things. The size of your house.
I feel like regardless, like, no matter what world you're in, fantasy or, like, the real world, people are treated differently,
Mhm.
just for, like, looking different or, like, having more money than others.
Right. It's unfortunate.
Mm.
Especially because, like, why is that the case? Just because you have money doesn't mean that you have to or want to present yourself in a way that makes it, like, really apparent that you have it.
Yeah, and I don't think people should be treated differently because of how they live.
No.
Like, I feel like that's pretty messed up.
Yes. I feel like everyone should have the same accessibility to, like, needs.
Yeah, and everyone should be, like, treated similarly.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be, like, if you're poor, you shouldn't have to be working, like, 3 different jobs just to, like, have a roof over your head. Like, just because of the taxes and everything. That seems messed up. At least in the...
Right, and when the cost of living keeps going up, but your pay stays the same, like,
or
what
goes
are they
down.
Yeah, like, what are they expecting you to do here? It's like, there's only so much money you're making. How are you supposed to just shell it out when it's not there?
Or if you have in this having magic versus, like, having no magic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they shouldn't have been treated, like, drastically differently.
No.
Just because you're, like, different.
Right, what makes one more valuable than the other?
Especially seeing how the elites needed the powerless to work all those jobs and everything. Like, they were needed.
But they could have done those things themselves.
That is also true. But they thought they were above it.
Yes, they did. So were you expecting the weapon that chose Bryn to speak to her? How do you think this helped or hindered the plot?
Okay, I did not expect the weapon to have a voice.
I didn't either. I was like, oh, okay. And then I had to reread that to make sure that that's what I read. I was like, okay, it's talking to me.
Yeah, I loved it, but I did not see it coming. And it was cool seeing it not just as a weapon, but as a character. And that's how you kind of learn more about it. You learned more about the Wolf's character through the weapon, as well as, like, the history. So that was just, like, really cool way to get information.
I thought so too. And I also think that having that chosen one bond is what helped give her confidence.
Yes, definitely. If you were entering a deadly trial with everyone you love on the line, what would be your weapon of choice? What kind of protector would you hope to bond to you?
I would hope I would get, like, a nice, supportive protector that was, like, knowledgeable and strong. And I'm not really sure about a weapon. It would probably be, like, some kind of mermaid sword or something. I've always wanted one. I thought that'd be cool.
I would choose a sword. And I would want, like, a fierce and trustworthy protector.
Like, how realistic is it to wield a sword? I'm not sure, because we have, like, neither of us would be able to do that, honestly.
No, but it would be cool. Like, I love the idea of it. Practicality, not so much.
Let me just grab my sword here.
Like, I guess realistically, it would probably be closer to, like, daggers or something. Something smaller and more manageable.
And doesn't require quite as much strength to, like, whack around.
Yeah. Like, but the concept, I would go for sword.
So would you rather always have to wonder where your next meal was coming from for your entire family, or constantly worried for your safety?
I think I'd rather worry about being hungry over being safe.
I would think so too.
Like, both are horrible options, honestly.
Let's hope you never have to choose.
But, like, I don't know.
I think I would rather worry about where my next meal was coming from versus being worried about safety all the time. Because I feel like being scared all the time is really no way to live.
Right.
And I feel like you would have a little more control over finding your next meal versus over controlling how safe you feel or, like, how safe it actually is in the environment you're, like, staying.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because, like, at least with wondering where your next meal is coming from, you know, you could, I don't know, hunt a squirrel or a rabbit outside.
You could learn to hunt. You could learn to, like, try and make.
You could find things in nature. Or
It might not be appetizing, it might be horrible, but that would at least be, like, you'd be able to survive.
or like they did, she dug in the trash and stuff to find food. Like, you have more choices. Whereas if you feel unsafe, what are you supposed to do about that when you don't have the means to go live somewhere in a better environment?
And if you don't have funds or anything for a weapon to protect yourself, then what do? You find a giant stick to, like, like, you know, rocks. Like, you know what I mean? There's not a whole lot you can do, especially if you're, like, small and not, like, you're malnourished. You don't have that kind of power.
And you're magicless.
Exactly. Like, you wouldn't have a way to, like, really feel safe.
Yeah, so I think I'd rather have to worry about where my meal's coming from constantly. So initially we're led to believe that Calaric lived such a different life compared to the dregs. Were you surprised to find out differently?
I don't know that I was necessarily surprised. But his people did live differently. Because, like, they had food. Like, they weren't starving by any means. And they only had to work one job. They didn't have to work, like, 3.
Right.
Which...
And they had time to themselves. Like, they didn't work every single day. And certain age groups didn't have to work at all.
And they didn't work for money necessarily, because they traded for everything. Like, so, like, yes, it was different. But Calaric's community was also at war. So it wasn't safe, always.
That was something that did surprise me a little bit, was that they, like, his little community did not use money.
I know, that was a little surprising.
When her community, like, that's how everything ran. So it was interesting to see how vastly different they were in that respect.
But they both had, like, a great sense of community and how they were always looking out for one another.
Yeah, I was surprised, like, even though he wasn't, like, poor like the dregs were, they were in, like, the trials for similar reasons. It was really solely based on the people in their lives and, like, trying to do something, like, you know what I mean? Like, they were trying to...
That was their motivation, was to better the lives of their people.
Yes. I'm glad you could put those words in my mouth, because they were struggling to come out.
I got you. So, in stories like this, where the main character is down on their luck, and they risk their life to compete in some sort of competition that will change their life for the better if they survive, how believable do you think it is that they would be able to focus on the task at hand, especially when they typically have something like being severely malnourished that they have to overcome?
I feel like they're never given good odds in this kind of situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that failure is usually never an option. So they become, like, more superhuman or get extra strength somehow.
They have the extra motivation to put in the extra work with the training. Because if they fail, not only are they going to die, but their people are going to be worse off too.
Yeah. I mean, how would you not be motivated in a scenario like that?
Right. But, like, I'm not sure how believable it necessarily is. You know, having someone that has such low odds of succeeding, especially against, like, magic, people that have a lot of magic.
Especially be responsible for so many people.
But then again, like, with the right motivation, it can help strengthen their odds, I would think.
Well, you just think, like, a mother's strength. Like, sometimes you get superhuman strength to do things that wouldn't normally be possible, or you wouldn't think would be possible. I imagine it's similar like that.
I would agree with that. Were you surprised when the elites set fire to the Drake's home, and that they wouldn't even open the gates to assist them after they lost everything?
I can't say I was surprised.
I knew something was coming.
Yeah, it was very apparent something bad was going to happen, but I'm not sure that I expected that to be what they did.
I didn't think they would go after her family. Like, it makes sense that they would, but I honestly thought that they were going to put another attack on her.
I expected them to do something to her family because they knew that would get to her. But I guess I didn't expect it to go to that extreme. And I don't feel like it was necessary for them to do that in order to get their message across.
Right.
Like that was horrible.
I know, because it didn't just affect her family. It affected her entire community. They were all rendered homeless, and some of them even died.
But they didn't care.
No, they didn't. Because they didn't have magic.
And they thought they were beneath them. They didn't care.
And I was surprised how Cleric stepped up. He provided them with a home if they wanted to move to his community. But he also had and Cassian, I believe it was, that provided the tents and stuff. Like, they had options.
Yeah, I was surprised that they did that much to help not just her, but everyone
in the community.
Yeah, all of the dregs.
That was a pretty cool, like, thing that I think showed that she could trust these characters.
Yeah. I think that would win me over too. Be like, oh, you're going above and beyond. You're really trying. Like you're
not just helping me. You're helping my family, my friends.
Right.
Everyone.
They just took them in, no questions asked. They were just like, you have a place. You'll always have a place here.
And if you don't want to move here, here's the stuff to get you started where you're at.
So, did you expect the twist of the sword being Calaric's mother?
I did not.
I didn't either.
It made sense as to how she knew about, more about his character. But I did not expect it to be his mother.
I didn't either. I just thought she knew things because she was like a magic sword. You know what I mean? Like, she's been around for a while. She just knew these things. And I was like, wait, what?
But it was more than that.
Right. Her soul was bound to the sword itself. And then it made sense, like, why he needed the sword to reclaim the throne. So that was something I didn't see coming.
Yeah, it was a very unique twist that I absolutely loved.
Yeah, the sword talked. The sword was his mother. Like, it all made sense, but I didn't see it coming.
It made sense because the sword was a character before we even knew what the character was.
Right. Yeah, that was definitely, I don't know, super surprising, and I really loved it.
It's not something you see very often.
No.
I think there's only been like one other book where a weapon was a character.
Right, or some like magical artifact. Yeah. Yeah, usually it doesn't have a voice or a personality.
Loved it though.
And she really did have a strong personality.
So, how do you think Brynn felt to be constantly reminded that she was human and had shortcomings because of this at every turn?
Well, I imagine she didn't feel very good about it. Because, she didn't have, like, unlimited strength. She didn't have magic. She couldn't even mate with him because of the curse.
Right.
So, I imagine, like, especially when she developed feelings for him, how could you not be reminded?
And I don't think anyone would like being constantly reminded of their weaknesses. But at the same time, I think it also kind of pushed her to work harder so she had a chance to win those trials.
Right, because I'm not sure without that extra nudge that she would have had found this strength. Like, obviously she had some motivation, but I don't know that she would have the strength to, like, overcome those feelings and those obstacles without that.
Same. Did you expect her to win the trials?
Yeah. Because it's kind of like, I feel like that's, like, kind of the whole point of this book. I feel like for most fantasies where there's some kind of, like, deadly trials, I don't think I've ever read one where they didn't win.
Well, I don't think that we would have a book if she wasn't going to be set up to win. Because
not unless she was, like, given the opportunity for another chance or something.
It's like, if you're not the winner, then you're probably dead.
Right.
Because, like,
they usually are a deadly trial.
Like, the winner is the survivor, like, at benefit.
But I will say, I didn't expect it to feel like she won so easily. Especially when the stakes were so high. Like, she had two people essentially on her team helping to make sure she was, succeeded. And each trial felt like it went really quick.
It did.
and it wasn't like it didn't feel like there was a big struggle involved with overcoming each like trial. Because I feel like a lot of times in these types of stories, because I mean I feel like I read a lot of fantasies with like a trial aspect. The trials sometimes drag on.
And that was not the case for this. Just like
it was super fast.
It was like chapter
yeah
of the trial, and that was like it. And then you're training for the next one.
Like that was something I remember. I mean, granted, it's not a very long book, but I did feel like I was like once I finished the first trial, reading about the first trial, I was like, oh, that it's over. Oh, okay. And then we were like immediately on to the next one.
And like the fact that she couldn't really know much about each trial before it happened, because Cassian was like magically bound where he couldn't speak about it.
But he was trying to prepare her through like the training.
Like little hints of you need to be able to trust him. This task is
designed to make you fail.
And like he couldn't tell her about the obstacle course. So he set up a training room of an obstacle course as like little helpful hints of this is coming.
I know, and in the beginning when he was doing these things, I was wondering if he was like doing this as a form of sabotage. I still wasn't sure we could trust him.
I wasn't sure that we could trust him either, especially because he was different around her than he was around the elites, which I did. He was kind of protecting himself, but then at the same time he was also helping her in her community in times of need, which I'm sure people in his elite community would have thought, hey, this is weird. He's buying out everything at the bakery to feed them. Obviously, like, he's sympathetic to that community.
But he could have been making it seem that way, because it's not like it was some great feat or like a real inconvenience, or it was going to set him back a lot to do an act like that.
So it's just interesting how he could talk one way but act another, even though his community would look down upon him for helping them.
Do you think that was kind of the whole point of his character?
Maybe.
To make us question things the whole time?
Like, I was questioning him, and then, like, they had a little bit of, like, the romance between them, but not really. I'm like, she's gonna end up with the wolf.
Right, but, but we didn't really know. I was curious to see how far things were gonna go.
I know, it was like a little hint at a love triangle, and I'm like...
I know, I was like, okay, where's this going?
Watch plot twist, book 2, she ends up with Cassian.
Who knows?
Like, I have it in my head she's gonna end up with the cleric.
She has to be with the wolf.
They're bonded.
So did you think after she won the trial that she would have to choose between Kalaric and her own people?
I did not.
Like, how would you make that decision?
I don't know that you could. But, like, I feel like most people would pick themselves and the community. Not, like, their mate. Who doesn't, like, where they don't have that bond, necessarily.
And you don't have a history with them yet. Not like you do with your own people.
And, like, knowing that helping him would help his community, but if your family is also living in that community with his family, and, like, then I guess helping him is also helping your family, although you're not giving them magic.
Right.
But, like, that's a lot of, like, deep thought for a split-second decision.
Right. Like, can you imagine giving up a power like that to help the one you love only for them to get upset and run away?
No.
Like, she only turned down the gift of magic for him so that she could help him and in turn then help her people. And then he just, like, ran away.
Because he didn't see it that way. Because he was thinking he was going to get the sword, which was his mother. But not necessarily hearing his mom's point of view of he can't handle the power, it would corrupt him. Because he wasn't powerless.
How do you think it would feel to learn that your mother's soul was like a sword?
But he seems to already know. But, like, I would not be... I don't know that I would be able to wrap my head around that.
No!
And then knowing that my mom sided with someone who's powerless and made them change their mind as to, like, to having power for their family. Like, I would be so confused. I would understand. I understand why he ran.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just like,
You can't just run away from your problems. Especially when the stakes are so high like that. Oh my gosh.
So, did you expect Claire to keep his word and provide a safe, comfortable life for Bryn and her family, even though he thought she betrayed him? Because, I didn't see that coming.
No. I can't imagine how she would have felt after refusing the gift of magic, only to realize she's left with nothing. Especially after she got a letter from Cassian saying, magic for all. That must have made her feel like she had made the complete wrong decision.
Yes. Absolutely. She was second guessing everything. She was having regrets.
Well, wouldn't you? She went through all that, and then, for what? She had nothing to show for it. I was shocked when she turned it down, honestly.
Yeah.
I was like, are you stupid?
I don't think many people would turn that down.
No.
And keep the sword.
That was the whole point of her having gone into this. Everyone was counting on her to get that magic and bring it back. And then she just, didn't take it.
No, she took a magical sword.
I was just shocked. Would you have put your trust in him that much to think that would have,
I mean, he did protect her and help her and save her throughout all of the trials.
But that was his literal job.
And, let's be real, he did that not necessarily for her, but for himself.
Right.
Because he needed her to survive, so he could get the sword. Only for her to take the sword.
It was so complicated.
Right. But even after he thought she betrayed him, he gave her his mother's childhood a home. He made sure that everyone in her community had a job in a safe place.
Right.
I don't know that either one of us would have done that for someone, that betrayed us.
No. But it showed his maturity and, that he was honorable. And I don't know that I would have done the same.
No.
I feel like I would have been a little bitter about everything. And I might have held a little grudge for a little bit at least.
I don't think I would have kicked them out of the community, but I don't know that I would have gone above and beyond and be like, here is a home.
Here's the nicest home in the whole area. Especially one that meant so much to him. I don't know.
I know, but I did not expect that at all.
No, that did surprise me. And then I was like, oh, I do like him after all. Because I wasn't sure up until that point.
Right.
So at the end of the book, when the sword told Bryn she needed to go to Kalaric because he needed her, did you expect her to basically ignore her and his need for help?
I don't know that I thought she would ignore it, but I guess it makes sense. Because he didn't hear her out. He didn't listen to her side of the story. He's just like, you kept the sword, my sword.
Right.
I don't trust you anymore, and then he's off. Would you want to rescue that person if they want nothing to do with you anymore?
If you had strong feelings for them, maybe.
Maybe. But let's be real, book 2 comes around, she'll probably hesitate for a little bit, but she's gonna go running after him.
Well,
right?
Wouldn't you? Probably.
Yeah. So otherwise you would feel guilty if you didn't.
Right.
Especially...
Yeah. It left you hanging. I gotta know. We have, assumptions in how the next book is gonna go.
I'm assuming she's going after him after, a day or two of hesitating.
Right, because it is only 2 books. So this second book that we're anxiously awaiting is gonna tell us everything and tie it up.
Now.
I can't wait for book 2.
What is going to happen? What do we expect now that the trials are over?
Well, I don't think it's going to be super easy. There's got to be something else she's going to have to overcome that's going to take, be challenging and take time.
Well, they're going to have to at least work together to save his people from their war.
Right.
And what was it, the rival wolf gang? Whatever they're called.
Do you think she'll develop some kind of power or something?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Like, I have so many questions.
I know. Hopefully book 2 answers them all.
If you're listening and you've read Traitor Wolf, please let us know your thoughts. What are you expecting in book 2? What did you think about this one?
We're dying to know.
We need to hear from you.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Bookish Sisters Podcast. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and whatever platform you're listening to us on. Tune in on January 5th for our next episode. Happy reading!